Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the farm. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here. Weather's gorgeous. No mitts, no toque required. We're going to start the day with something that shouldn't be, and that is one of our rams is over here, and he's supposed to be over here. So we're going to try and fetch him up. Find ourselves at the time of year where, they're eating some hay that's been, under a tarp or in the barn or whatever for the whole year. And there's the odd little sprig, a sprout of fresh green grass. And why on earth would they not want to eat the fresh green grass?
Whoa, no, wait a minute. Whoa. This guy is so hungry.
So if you watch for any length of time, you know one thing we're famous for here. Well, two things we're famous for. Flat tires is the first one, and the second one is dead batteries. And this tractor is renowned for having a dead battery. I think it's probably an alternator issue, but I got no issue just throwing a battery charger on for 2 minutes and then fire up the tractor and away, go do whatever you need to do, and then park the tractor again. It's not a huge inconvenience. But when you come and the battery charger's not working, and you can't charge the battery, and then you have to get booster cables and you have to get the truck. This is everything we had to do yesterday, right? It does become a bit onerous. So I plugged this battery charger back in today to see what was what, and I couldn't get it to do anything. And so then I pulled the sheath back off the cable, and I noticed right here there is an actual break in the cable. So we're going to cut that off because maybe it got too hot or something at one point in time, and from overuse. And so we're going to cut that off and see if we can't re-crimp that connection and get this battery charger charging again. And on the inside of your side cutters, they've got actually a crimper right there. So oh, you hear my knuckles pop doing that. Slide the sheath back up. And then the red indicator so we don't get them mixed up. All right, we plug this in, we should see some magic happen here. There. Yes, you can see it's not sitting at zero. It's making all the right noises. That's what I want to see. I come down here and there should be like a little, yeah, you can get it to spark. Juice is flowing. That might seem like a pretty trivial fix, but I mean, I think I bought this, oh goodness, 15, 20 years ago. At that time it was probably 70 bucks. I don't know what one is worth now. I'll probably double that, right? So that fix cost me nothing but 3 minutes of my time, or alternately it could have cost me, like I said, 140, 150 bucks. So troubleshooting pays. That's super important if you're, just getting into the kind of the homesteading or self-sufficiency kind of lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, we live in a throwaway society, but that's one portion of society that we need to throw away. We need to discard that attitude that says, well, okay, I can just go get a new one, because oftentimes what's wrong with your old one is something so minor and inconsequential that you do have the skill and you can fix it. Anyways, the reason I put the battery charger on the tractor is because today's the day, today's the day we get to move the shed. So if you remember, oh my goodness, it was in the fall sometime, I think. Oh, that's working good. In the fall sometime, my wife picked up a beautiful garden shed from a guy that lives down the road. He builds sheds. And we just parked it. We said, we'll move it in the spring or move it when the ground is solid, but it's not like loon shit and there's not 3 feet of snow. So I think today meets that metric. And so we're going to try and drag the shed out there. So I got to get the drill and then a big router bit, and we can drill through the skid, and I could put a bolt through or something like that, so I can hook a sling to it and drag it down the yard. So another waste not want not thing. We got our stock trailer through an estate sale, but in the process of that estate sale, that stock trailer was full from front to back, top to bottom, of just, well, you could say junk. It had a few treasures in it, but largely it was junk, and it just needed to go to the landfill and open the door and out you go, right? And that did happen, but I did sift through and I got quite a bit of stuff. And so I got like, old tire iron. I got so many tire irons. I got bars like this, right? I don't know what I'd ever use that for. I got lots of pins. I got some J hooks, lots of cool little things like this. And, so I'm going to drill a hole through that skid, but I need a bar or a pin or something. I can't just use a good screwdriver because that's how you end up buying new screwdrivers. But I need a bar. So I'm going to sift through this pail here. I'm going to find a good pin or something that's a sufficient gauge and strength. And then we can yank that trailer, or sorry, yank the shed down across the yard here. On the move here now. Got the shed on. We're moving about half a mile an hour, very gingerly across the yard till we get to the corner, and then I'm just hopeful. Hopeful something doesn't come disconnected, and the shed turns the corner with the tractor. Then we'll have to, once it's in position, then we'll get on the leveling. That'll be easy. Stack a couple boards and we'll be in business. The Lady Glitter Sparkles?
Yes. Lady Glitter Sparkles!
It's all moved, looks good. We were in the house, had a bite of lunch, and then I just come back out, fed the bottle lambs, and just washed that all up. And I thought maybe a good moment to talk about bottle feeding lambs and the profitability of such. And what really came to mind is Carmen just had to run to, I think it was Ketty she ran to get a new bag of that lamb replacer milk. Well, that stuff's like $75 to $80 a bag. And it's a 10 kilogram bag. And one bottle lamb, a good drinking bottle lamb, is going to drink that whole bag down. Gone. So you're thinking about that. Maybe you're getting into, again, maybe just getting into sheep and you've got a ewe that won't take a lamb, or in the unfortunate case like we had where one dies and you're just kind of left holding the bag, so to speak. What's it going to cost you? And so you have to reconcile yourself with, do I feed this thing out and have it owe me $75 to $80 before, just to keep it from starving to death before we've even really done anything? Or do I sell this thing, right? So what I recommend doing, so this one, the two we got, they were birthed a week before. They were heavy birth weight lambs, good, big, thirsty, thrifty lambs, looking great, right? So it was in our best interest to kind of see that through. So and there's only the two of them, right? So it's not like onerous work. I mean, it is inconvenient, but it's not onerous. And it's going to cost us, like I said, $75 per lamb to get it kind of through to finishing weight. But then if I can get that to market and I can get a couple $100 for it, well, you know what? I've made a profit. But if they were, runty or something like that, and then you try and mix them in with the rest of the lambs that are going to market, well, not only can they fetch a lower price, but they can actually draw down the price of the other ones that are within the same batch, right? So they end up, kind of costing you money. They cost you money right off the get-go, but they can cost you money throughout their life cycle and then all the way to the auction mart. So you got to be kind of selective. If the body conditioning looks good, if they got good lineage, maybe it's worthwhile keeping them and feeding them out. But if you're looking at $75, I can put them on the buy and sell, local farm page or whatever, and lots of the acreage folks, they'll come pay. They'll pay $100 all day long for one of those bottle lambs, right? So, and then you don't have to feed them at all. So it's just a matter of whether you want your $100 now for maybe a smaller lamb, or you can get your $100 later for a bigger lamb if you're willing to put the work in. Now, in some cases, they can steal quite a bit, right? So larger flocks, they can get away with stealing quite a bit if you've got only a few that are bottle feeding. If we have a fairly small flock, we're like 25 ewes or something like that. So the capability of them to steal from a large percentage of ewes is not that great. And the other thing to do with that too is we've got a high twin ratio this year. So, all that milk that's being generated is needed because everybody's got two to feed. So stealing's not actually a good thing this year. So Miss Finley's down for a nap here. and I better be productive. So Carmen and Charlotte have both gone to a friend's birthday party, and Charlotte was saying, well, why isn't Dad and Finley coming to the birthday party? And Carmen implied, and by implied I mean she said it like directly to me, is that Finley and Dad are going to stay home and clean the house. And I said, in jest, but you know, with a little bit of seriousness, I said, Daddy's going to have a nap. And my wife gave me the eyes, and not the ones I wanted. Anyway, so I got to run out. I'm going to get the side-by-side off the trailer and back into the shop. I'm going to back the trailer up, and then I think I'm going to try and mount the ramp on the garden shed that we moved, so we can actually back that lawnmower into the shed. That'd be a nice surprise when she gets home. And then I should probably come in here and push a vacuum cleaner for a noticeable amount of time, and maybe load the dishwasher if I want to survive until tomorrow. So I'm in the shed here now. I'm a little bit out of breath because I just packed over the big ramp. I actually built that ramp a few years back for loading pigs in the back of the stock trailer, and it was one of those like quick do-it-yourself instructional things that I got out of Joel Salatin's book. And I don't know if he has like 1,500 pound pigs or just what exactly he's loading, but that's a heavy duty ramp. And yeah, we used it a couple times for pigs, and it was way overkill. But I think it'll be just right for that big old lawnmower. So got it rigged up here on a couple of blocks, got the door propped open. I'm going to run up and get the unit. I'm going to have to put a bungee cord on the, I don't know what they call that, the wing? Whatever it is that directs the flow of grass away from the mowing deck. I don't want to rip that off because they aren't cheap. So bungee cord it is. And then we'll see if it fits. I hope it fits. It better fit. I paid like, I don't even know, $1,600 I think for this shed. So it better fit. Well, there it is. It fits. It's tight, but it fits. Right, so I'm back in the house. Charlotte's back from birthday party. Carmen's outside, eyeballing her shed. She's probably super impressed with how well her lawnmower fits and the ramp and everything like that. I'm just gonna guess that's exactly what she's doing. And we're making chicken wings. So we got a whole bunch of chicken wings from processing our pasture-raised poultry, or pasture-raised chickens from the summertime. And well, we're almost ready to do that again. So it's always good to just, you know, use up some extras. And so we got 3 whole large eggs we whipped up here. We put the wings right in. Once they're all dipped, then we mix up a bowl with plain white flour, about a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of garlic powder, not garlic salt, garlic powder, and then half a tablespoon of onion powder. Whip that all up, and then we dunk the eggs in there, and then we put them on. Actually, I'll just swing you over here so you can see this. Onto the cooling racks. Actually, cooling racks inside of a cookie sheet with some parchment paper so that we don't make a big, huge mess. And that helps keep the wings all nice and crisp, as opposed to, we've tried the air fryer, but honestly, the air fryer option, I find that they just kind of all get stuck together in a mass conglomerate. And it's not like nachos, right? If they're all stuck together, it's not one wing. It doesn't really work like that. Yeah. Put it in flour. Yeah, you want to do it? Shake it up. Make sure you hang on tight. So yeah, promises to be a delicious evening. When the wife comes in, she's probably going to say, well, what are we having with it? And it's like, wings. But what are we having with it? A different flavor of wings? I don't know. So that's as far as we're going to get tonight. Well, it's on into the evening here now, and it turned out to be a pretty nice evening. We have had a sprinkle of rain here, and everything is kind of cloudy. I'm hoping that doesn't turn into a thing like maybe some snowflakes tomorrow, but I think it is supposed to cool off, and we will get some more rain tomorrow. Rain's definitely welcome. But the white stuff can go. Anyways, I think it's about time. Everybody's in bed. Both the kids, Mama Bear, everybody's in bed except for me. So I think it's time to make up a cup of tea and call her a night. So I'll let you go for now. Hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.